Hello hobbyist. Today we are going to discuss my Blood Red Skies list I took to Adepticon for the Lead Pursuit podcast tournament. That was 3 rounds, and I took the MiG-3 from the Soviet Union. So this is the list I took. As I said, the Elite Pursuit podcast was hosting a tournament for Blood Red Skies in the Hyatt Regency, which was the second hotel being used for Adepticon, where all the realistic war games were being hosted, like Flames of War, Bolt Action, Blood Red Skies, Team Yankee. All of those games were there, as well as Star Wars Armada and the Middle Earth game that Games Workshop produces. So I attended the tournament. It was 3 rounds. I tied 1, lost the last 2 rounds. I tied against Spitfire 2s, I lost against a Japanese fighter, and I lost against biplanes, which biplane one was the most interesting because biplanes cannot climb within 9 inches of an enemy. If a enemy craft is next to them, and they also get their biplane turns. So that one's more interesting because if you don't know, the MiGs come with the sluggish trait, so meaning I cannot outmaneuver any craft. So that was a hindrance to me, but since these guys are 14 points, you can put a lot of them on the board. So they all come with great dive, they all come with a sluggish. I took Alexander Pushkin, the named ace for the team, so he got set them up and then the right stuff to ignore the sluggish key traits, so he actually could outmaneuver people. And I took Cool Under Fire, and finally I took Low Altitude Performance, which did come up in the 3rd round. Anyways, all the rounds were playing Scenario 2, Fighter Sweep, so Low Altitude Performance did come in handy because I actually rolled poorly, so I actually was at disadvantage for both my groups, which I typically took Pushkin with the veterans, or I think in the last one I did Pushkin, the ace, and the rookie with the regular, and then the 2 veterans were together, or I think I took Pushkin and the 2 regulars. But nonetheless, I split it up into 2. I took only 5. So I originally, when I was going to do this, I originally was going to take Pushkin and then a bunch of veterans. I decided to add in the additional ace so I could take the Cool Under Fire keyword because trying to ignore those boon hits on my aces. So it was pretty tough, I will not lie, when you're flying a sluggish craft. I did not get up any tailing at all. Not once was I able to get into a tailing position to tail anyone to shoot them. Round 2, I lost Pushkin pretty quick. My opponent just basically outmaneuvered me, and then I tried to roll to see if my maneuver test, to see whether or not I get it. I even get an additional die for my maneuver test when it's being out, when any maneuver test is done on Pushkin, because he gets an additional die. I failed them all and went down to disadvantage, and Pushkin died. So I wasn't even able to use Pushkin's ability to outmaneuver anyone. So that wasn't great in any way. My dice were okay overall. Again, it's a 6 to hit anything and to do anything in the game, so you just gotta get lucky you hit that 6. But overall, it was still a fun list. I did kind of learn that you gotta build in 2 ways. It's either build with high point value fighters and running just a lot of aces in them, or you run swarms. And I think a lot more people are running swarms, where you run like regulars and you just continually go regular, outmaneuver, regular, outmaneuver, regular, outmaneuver, and hope your opponent fails a dice roll. So they go down to disadvantage, and then everyone just, the rest of your guys swarm in and shoot down the guy. So I think there is a mentality of going into that with that swarm mentality, especially at only 500 points where you can only use 1 fighter group. No one there was playing multi-engine planes with the heavy fighter rule, which is kind of sad. I really did think about taking some. I was thinking about taking the BF-110Cs with me so I could get that agility to dodge, but it does come with 2 shots. I was tempted to take those. I was thinking about taking mosquitoes. I was thinking about taking lightnings, but I decided the cheapest fighter I had in my collection was the well, this. I could have taken the I-16s, which would have had some better agility, and I think are 26 points. I could have taken my Yak-1Bs, which of course had 1 shot, 3 agility, and could outmaneuver, and I could probably be able to list them together. But I wanted to try this fun thing. Honestly, when I went to the tournament, I knew I wasn't going to do all that well because honestly, these aren't great fighters, but they're cheap and you get a lot of bodies, which you kind of need to, so your opponent is forced to get a lot of boon, have to actually forced to get a lot of boon chits on you than saying playing 4 fighters, and once you hit 5 boon chits, you're kind of out. But nonetheless, it was a lot of fun. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on the list. What fighter would you have won ticket with 500 points, knowing it's fighter sweep, knowing that you were playing the heavy rule. The heavy fighter rule also had an extra 5 points off the fighter itself, so you could run, they're making them a little cheaper. But let me know all of that down in the comments. And we're commenting. Do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you can notify my videos go live for you. And we'll see you here next time on Mama Dragon's Miniatures.